Hello, it's Nikki and welcome to another monthly review. We have just completed the game of July and I am as surprised as anyone how quickly that has gone. We are now in August. It's my daughter's birthday this weekend. She's turning 4. And before we get into the lessons, I just wanted to share a bit about where I'm up to and share some thoughts and feelings around this. So, yeah, my daughter's turning 4 at the weekend. And in one way, I feel that she was only born yesterday. And in another way, I can't believe she's only 4 because I feel like we've lived a lot of life. We've certainly spent a lot of time together. That's for sure. You know, she's lived through a pandemic and yet she will go to school in September. She's one of the young ones in her year. And it feels like a new chapter in my life, in my business. And yeah, it feels, you know how the Olympics or the World Cup is once every 4 years? I'm almost feeling that moment, you know, where you get to the end of the 4 years of like, right, okay, what's next? What's going on? I'm definitely not retiring. That's not happening. But I do feel like it's a new chapter. Anyway, on to today and some things that I wanted to share. I've got a couple of notes to work with. One of the things that I have done in July, which has been incredible, is I've simplified. I really felt that I needed to simplify everything and to go back to my business goals and my life goals and work with those. I am somebody who can be very influenced by success and things that people are doing and things that work for people. And I'm learning more and more so that I have to keep coming back to what actually works for me. Because as much as I would like to say I can just fake it and just do what everybody else is and just be a bit dead behind the eyes and carry on regardless, that is not how I run my life, first and foremost. I don't do something just because everybody else is. And secondly, it works for a while running a business like that or following a certain path like that. But long term, it does not work. It certainly does not work for me. And what I've found is I don't want complications in my business. I want things to be very straightforward, very easy, I guess, because lots of other bits of business and life is challenging, and and it requires different things. And so the technology, I want it to be easy. I want it to be straightforward. And I have to remember that for the most part, I am one person. And I think for a long time, I was working very hard and I was doing the job of 10, 12 people. And in a way, not even getting the results that I wanted. I mean, I was getting good results, but not to warrant me feeling like I was pulled in all different directions. And so what I've done is I've really simplified and it feels really good. And I think sometimes, and I've done a video about this before when I can't quite remember what it's called. It's something about like knowing when you have to turn things around. And it can be scary to press pause on something. And I'm seeing a lot as I walk down my high street at the moment. There are people who are closing for a couple of days to refurbish or to paint or to move things around. And I'm sure during that build or that transformation, they are worried because they're losing the profits of that day. But I always have to think long term in that. And actually, when I was changing things around and simplifying them, it took about 3 days. And I worked on a Friday, which I don't usually work on Fridays very much because I'm with my daughter and now she doesn't sleep very much. So Fridays are kind of non-specific work days. And I also took a weekend, so a whole Saturday and a whole Sunday. And again, I don't like to do that really, because I like to be with my children, my family, and have fun times. But I sensed that it was worth it. And because I had that focus of getting it done, I did just that, and I got focused, and one day I worked 8 hours and I just got the things done. And when I got to the end of it, it was so good. But my piece of paper and my pen, when I was talking about simplifying things, was so key. And I just happen to have a Sharpie here. I actually drew out lots of the processes, lots of the journeys, lots of the situations that my customers were in. And I drew it out. And as soon as my pen stopped, or if it became a bit complicated or convoluted, and I felt like, I'm not quite getting to the result, that was an indication for me to stop and realize it was too complicated. And so I almost had to go back a step. You know, like when you give directions to somebody, and then there's a point where you might say something, and then you can see it in their eyes, like, hang on a minute, I've lost them. I need to go back. I need to bed in some other stuff before I move on. And so that was really useful for me. So my website is now on Podia. I did a whole review on this channel and on my Medium. Oh, let me write Medium down because I want to talk about that as well. On Medium, and something else as well. You always need a Sharpie, don't you? That's the thing. So I wrote about the two platforms that I've used really recently, and the differences and who they're perfect for. I absolutely love both of them. I've been a fee-paying customer of both of them, and I've done a bit of a comparison. So that might be useful. I will link the video down below. Number 2. Okay, I've been doing this 10-week acting course, and I've loved it. It's been exactly what I needed at exactly the right time, and it's really sharpened my skills. It's brought lots of things. Now, there's been a great community. The other actors have been lovely. The teaching's been fantastic. The structure of the course has worked really well. But I know that kind of review is for the teachers or the people running the courses. I want to share what I've noticed personally, and also how it may translate into your business. So the course requirements were that you had to send the application. So you had to apply, and already as I did that, I had all kinds of voices in my head of like, well, what if you don't get a place? Or what if you can't commit? Or what if something comes up? And I got to the point where I just thought, just send the form. Send the form in. You won't know unless you send the form. And you don't have to take the place. If it doesn't work or something changes, just send the form. And there was something about that process that immediately showed myself I was serious about this. And I think so often things can feel a bit casual, or things feel like you're juggling lots of projects, and sometimes you have to put your name to something and make a bit of a contract with yourself, like, I am doing this is important to me. And I always say this when I'm on discovery calls with clients, when they say things like, I mean, well, and I will often say, is this as important to you right now? What happens if you don't do this? And this is not like NLP kind of creepy training. This is a serious question. If it's important to you, what's going to happen if you don't make any moves? And I kept asking myself that question. The second thing was, I'm trying to say this in a kind of non-arrogant way, but like, it was confirming that I have acting talent, that I know what to do. That was really good. But in a more interesting discovery was I had many gaps. I had many gaps, and it felt like taking in, a car for an MOT, and on the surface, it all kind of looks good. It looks fine. It's doing what it needs to do. But actually, in order to really do the things that I want to do, I'm going to have to take a closer look. And taking a closer look can sometimes be scary because you don't know what you're going to find. And many of my clients will start, on a journey with me, saying, "Well, I don't know, and I'm not sure, and this is a bit of a mess, and I'm not." It's like, it's fine. Just bring your whole self to the table. We'll sort it. It's all good. There's no judgment, and we move. We crack on. And the third thing, I guess, is it's been really great for discipline. And I've realized the importance of discipline in my life all throughout this year. Because if I want the results that I want, the behaviors that match those results are not dabblers. It's not like in, out, shake it all about, if I feel like it, if I want to, if I'm in the mood, very sort of, I guess, feelings based. And that's not to say that I'm not going to listen to my gut or be part of toxic positivity or anything like that. But at the age and stage of my life when I've got 2 small kids and I get tired and don't sleep very well sometimes, it can be alongside other things that I don't want to talk about, but it can really feel, your feelings can feel right on the surface. And when you can touch them and hold them, you listen to them. And when I agreed to do this course, the requirement was you have to be there every Tuesday for 10 weeks. Otherwise, you're letting down your partner that you're working with, you're not submitting your work, and there was a lot of homework as well. And so that meant I couldn't just go, yeah, well, I might be going to that acting class tonight. Like, I was going. So I had to step up and put things in place. And this is something that you may need to do in your business. If you've really got a focus on something you want to grow, something you want to change, something you want to gain momentum with, you have to take it seriously. You have to put things in place, and you have to have a backup plan for the you that doesn't quite feel like it, or the you that gets busy or overwhelmed or whatever it is. Now, if something terrible or urgent had happened, of course, I would have stepped back from the course and done what I needed to do. But that was not the case. And so, yeah, it made me step up. It really made me notice where my gaps were, and it made me build week on week on week. So tonight is week 9, and I finish next week, and yeah, it's been fantastic. Number 3, I've just been sharing more of what I know, and this is this may sound really simple. Of course, you should just share what you know, but there are some times, especially when you've been doing something a long time, that you feel like you have to reinvent all of these things, or add something new, or overcomplicate this big monster of a machine of a business. And actually, I just want to say it more, and I can say it in different ways. I've been lucky and blessed with a great imagination, so I'm just going to use it, and I'm just going to talk more about these things. I'm not going to assume that everybody's heard it. I'm not going to assume that everybody knows these things, because they don't, because they tell me that they don't. So maybe you could apply that in terms of your business, like what you share, what you bring to the table, and see how that feels. Just go into more detail, because people are looking for it. Number 4. This has been something that has come up a lot in my client work, and me really stepping in to the 360 version of how I can really help somebody. So I think sometimes, especially if you know that you are good at something, or you've been doing it for a long time, not that you would ever coast, but maybe you think that you have reached what it is that you are capable of. And actually, that's just a story most of the time, because there's always a new level of development. And something that I've been really paying attention to is what my clients need, what is really going on here, and how can I make what I have to offer easier, and really listening to the clues of what is going on. And I think the temptation sometimes is to second guess that. And I've heard this, especially with content before, where people go, I don't know, I'm going to do like these top 10 trends about X. Well, if your ideal client is busy and they don't want to read 10 things, you have to listen to that. And instead of wasting your time doing 10 things, maybe do 5 things, see how they get on. It may be more effective. So don't second guess things. Continue the conversation. Open it up the whole time. What else have I done? Okay. So finally, I am beginning to think about September already. And I know it's only the 1st of August, but if you have been following me on Instagram, if you haven't, you can come over and join me there at Nicky Raby. I know as of the middle of September, both of my children will be in school, which is quite a prospect to get my head around. So on one hand, I can't believe like my babies are out in the world and that kind of preschool time of life is over. But also I'm looking at photos of myself and thinking, girl, you need a makeover. There are some things where I'm like, why am I still wearing that? I was wearing that when I was pregnant, or I was wearing that when I was in soft play every day. And I feel that there's an elevation coming. There's a level up coming. And I'm interested to know what that is. So I also worked it out time-wise. So I'm now going to have Tuesdays and Fridays available. So essentially another 10 hours a week, 40 hours a month, which seems huge. And my question is to myself, how am I going to use that to really meet my business goals, but also my life goals? I don't want to just say, well, I'll just sit at my desk for another 40 hours and just be speedier at answering email. I have to be more strategic with that because I know how quickly time goes. And so maybe that's the case for you, maybe thinking about ahead. And the reason I'm talking about September now is that during August, during the summer, where maybe or maybe not, you are doing different things out and about in the world. Maybe you're at home, maybe you're away, maybe you've just got a different pace of life. You're going to get so many clues as to what is feeling good, what's happening in your body. And it may be like going to a barbecue at a friend's house and saying, wow, it feels so good to hang out with friends. But yet, this is the only time I've done this year. I must make more time for things like that. Friendships are very important to me. You know, you're getting so many clues. And all of these pieces of information will inform where you go next with your business. Because money needs a purpose, and it's important to take this into consideration, because then you can really refine your business model to support all the life goals that you have. 2 things that I've also been doing that you can check out, 3 things rather. I've been adding all of my videos and the little copy that goes alongside them onto my videos page, which is nickyraby.com/videos. And I've been linking buttons so you can directly get more support. So sometimes you might see a piece of my content and go, yeah, I'm not really sure what to do next, or I don't know what I need. So if you want to go deeper into these things, do go over to my video page and see what resonates, see what connects with you. Another couple of things I've been trying is Medium. I love writing, and I have written so much over the years, and so I'm really building that profile, and that feels really good. So again, you can find me on there. And finally, I have been using YouTube Shorts, which are short, snappy videos. They're less than a minute long. That's the requirement in order for it to be a short. And it is getting me on my game. And I realise I've been talking for nearly 20 minutes, but how can I share what it is that I have to offer in a snippy, snappy way? So they've been going really well. My stats have been great. And if you are not a subscriber on here, please do subscribe. I'm really growing this channel at the moment, and I'm also sharing a video every day in August, a little live. So I was going to do it on YouTube, but I can't actually save the video, so I'm going to go back to Instagram, and I will be there every day during August. So come and find me there. I hope your July has been all of the things that you want it to be, your measure of success, feeling great for you. I would love to hear, as always, how it's gone and where you want to go next. Do tell me in the comments or email me hello@nickyraby.com, and I'll see you next month for another monthly review. Lots of love. Speak soon.